Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here, and we're going into the second part of a series of two, I hope. We talked about human trafficking in the first part. In this part, we're going to talk about child exploitation. We can never know for sure who we can trust along with our children, people. In our society today, we must be vigilant when it comes to our children and who they're around. I know beyond any doubt that demonic forces have a desire and a plan to destroy the lives of our children. Some of these sexual deviants are actually sick and should be put away somewhere. Put them away for life. Take them out of society because they can't cope. They're incapable of a sane thought. Put them away. But most child predators are people that you know. They're in your family. They're in your schools. They're in every state in the United States. Especially Hollywood politics. Churches, children's athletics. Every facet of society is blemished by satanic sex predators. And predators are everywhere where the child might be vulnerable, people. Parks, playgrounds, water parks, schools, gymnasiums. They're looking for easy prey, people. They're looking for easy prey. The internet has opened a large door for predators to simply just walk through and take our children out of our homes. They promise them anything. They entice them with things that they wish they had. They get this child to cooperate fully with this predator by making promises to them. People, at this point, once contact is made, physical contact is made, your child is lost. They're lost. They're lost to sex trafficking and a world of fear and horror and shame. Innocence is gone for these trafficked and abused children. So please, parents, I don't want to hear you say, "Not my child." Fact is, the ones who say, "Not my child," oh my goodness, is not involved in their child's life and unaware of what these kids are doing online. Or these parents that say, "Not my child," they say, "Not my child," because they're thinking. They have a thinking brain. They're aware. They know what's going on in this world. And they oversee their children. They look over their shoulder. Maybe they go behind their back and see who they're talking to online, or get their phone when they're asleep and just see who their contacts are. People, there are parents aware, and there are parents unaware. I'd venture to say the parents that are aware have a really good chance of not having their child trafficked for sex. But if you're unaware, if you're not involved in that child's life, if you don't know what's going on with that child, if he's a latchkey, that's one big thing, people. These damn latchkey kids, they all got a key to the front door or the back door. They leave in the morning, they come back, nobody's home. They let themselves in, they hang out, do whatever it is they're going to do. And then 4 or 5 hours later, somebody that's an adult comes home. I don't know if it's a parent or not. I never was a latchkey kid, so I don't know what they're going through. But you know, predators are making every effort to get to our kids. And parents are making it easy for them. When the parents aren't involved in the lives of their kids, these children are prime victims of child trafficking and exploitation online or in the streets, depending on where you live. If you live in a major city, it could be on the streets. Every child is in danger from child predators, people. We can't put children on a leash, but can we be aware? Can we at least be aware and teach our children about the horrors that await them if they reply to these predators online? He's going to promise these kids everything they want and give them absolutely nothing but horror and shame. People, he'll use intimidation, he'll use violence, he'll use whatever he has to keep those kids quiet. And nothing you say or do could make them say a word. Like I said, fear and intimidation keep these kids quiet. And then once they're in his grip, your child is lost. Their innocence is lost. Her esteem is gone. Many times, these predators get your children addicted to drugs such as heroin to keep them on a leash. Please be involved. Don't trust anyone with your child. And people, just to give you a little story about our children, as always, it's not good news. But in a way it is. Leon Harrison, a 65-year-old man living in D.C., pleaded guilty to sex trafficking of a minor and for having sex with a 15-year-old girl for money. The girl lived in Maryland and was contacted on social media. I've been preaching that we need to keep track of what our children are doing online and who they're corresponding with on social media. Stop being a friend to these kids and start being a parent. Harrison admitted that he met the girl online and has been engaged in sexual acts with the child for over 2 years. Harrison is also, get this people, he's HIV positive and he's been having unprotected sex with his 15-year-old girl for 2 years. He didn't tell her he was HIV positive. I say that's attempted murder. He needs to go to jail for a long, long time. This predator and murderer. "32-year-old Aubrey Taylor was convicted in the U.S. District Court of Seattle, Washington. Victims stated in court that Taylor used threats and violence, sexual assault, and manipulation to force these girls into having commercial sex in the states of Washington, Idaho, and Nevada. And of course, the girls gave him all the money. Drugs were also a big part of Taylor's control over these girls. He would get them addicted to heroin, and then he would use their addiction as a form of control over these girls. U.S. Attorney Kate Grissom stated in closing arguments that Taylor is a sex trafficker and a child predator. He sold his victims a dream, and instead he gave them a nightmare that will never end. It'll never end for these girls. It's over for them. They'll always have that memory with them as long as they live. People, we need to protect our children. We need to be there at their gym practice. We need to be there at their athletic events. We need to be there anytime that we think maybe there might be a predator in their midst, which is at almost any time. Of course, we can't go to school with them every day. We can't be in school and look for teacher predators, but they are. They're there. Maybe not in your school, and be grateful if they're not. But they're everywhere, and we just have to be watchful. We have to be careful. I don't mean to be paranoid. I don't mean for you to be looking around every corner for a predator. But just be aware. Know what your child is doing. You can do it in a way that they won't think will be an intrusion. Tell them you're trying to save their life. I'm sure they'll understand. People, this is deplorable Bobby. And this is the way I see it. And you have to remember, pray for our kids. The abused, the sexually abused, the trafficked, the exploited, and people, the sacrificed, because it happens all the time. There's no difference in the mind of a pedophile. They're one and the same, people. This is deplorable Bobby. This is the way I see it. Pray for our children. Pray for each other. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night.